Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you watch my previous videos, you know that Animal Farm is about 7 or 8 weeks out. And during that downtime, I want to give Forex plenty of time, and I want to be patient with the relaunch of that. So in the meantime, I've been dabbling in a couple of projects to generate some yield, and my plan is to tell you about one of those today. The one I want to talk about today is called Cairo Finance. I'm going to give you the full breakdown of the project in this video. If you like it and you want to join my team, that's cool. If not, that's cool. If you're drip only, I'm completely fine with that. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing in case it's something you're interested in. Now, as always, this is not financial advice. You know crypto's risky, DeFi is even riskier. So use risk capital, try to do as much research as you can. I have done a great amount of research on this, so I feel pretty confident about putting my money in. I didn't just blindly go into this. I've asked a lot of questions. I found their Telegram, talked to the team. I really wanted to have a good handle on how this protocol worked before I put any money in, and now I'm at this point. So let's check it out and see if we can make some money with Cairo Finance. This is the web page right here. Hopefully this little screen down here that has my face in it doesn't block anything important. But I think best thing I could do is probably just give you the basic details. We'll take a tour of the site and then we'll hit all these individual pieces. But Cairo Finance says they are the first ever deflationary yield aggregator. Cairo is a yield optimizer with its own deflationary system that focuses on safety and auto compounds crypto assets for the best APYs through the Binance Smart Chain. Now, of course, that just stated this is on the Binance Smart Chain, which I really like because I, for some reason, just kind of hate working with other networks. I can't stand transacting in Ethereum. The gas prices are so expensive, and some of these other ones don't seem to work as efficiently as the Binance Smart Chain. So I personally lean toward investing in projects that are on BSC, and that's just because it's my personal preference for ease. So they launched what they call their Maximizer probably 6 weeks ago, I believe. So it's been running ever since, and then they've got a couple things that are upcoming. So you see some of it that'll say coming soon. This is another community-owned project. There's no admins or managers, so they're trying to make it decentralized, and it's scalable because it's built on the Binance Smart Chain. Cruise down, see if anything is super important here. Show it as a one-click investment. You basically deposit your tokens into the system, and then you're earning your 1% daily. There is no impermanent loss, and they try to optimize returns so you get the highest yield. Total supply of the token is 100 million, and this is the breakdown of their allocation. As you can see here, they've got a CERTIC audit that's coming soon, which is good. Some people feel one way or another about CERTIC. I think it's great that these guys are actually spending money and spending the time to do those audits. It shows that they're in it for the long haul if they're making those investments. They also already have an audit completed from Solid Proof. So again, multiple audits going. I think that's fantastic. Overall, just at first glance, I'm kind of an aesthetics guy. I actually really like this one. It's got this whole Egyptian theme. Obviously, it's called Cairo. Everything is just really clean. Color schemes are really clean. It's just very consistent. So as we jump through all these, you'll see that the overall look and feel of the platform is solid, and I really do like that. I'm more of a financial guy and less of like a gaming guy, so some of the platforms that look really gamified, they're just not as much of my style as some of the more simple financial or financially laid out websites. So I could go through each one, but I don't know if I'll be able to describe it to you in the best way. So if you click on the Papyrus Docs, which is just a cool name for their white paper, it'll bring up this, and I've read every single line of this white paper. It's actually really good. I mean, there's a lot of information in here. Some of the stuff, again, hasn't been launched yet, and some of it has. So it took me a long time to read through all this and reread it to understand it. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I will break down a couple of the sections, and you guys, if you want to do some additional research, you can come in here and read a little bit more. So the intro is pretty general. It just talks about kind of the rise of DeFi and what role Cairo is going to play in that. Some good information though, so read it if you have a moment. The tokenomics here is going to give you the details. Token address, obviously you want to add that to your wallet. 100 million pre-minted tokens here. That's the token symbol. Token allocation also states that there is no team token, so the dev team doesn't actually own the tokens, which if you guys are familiar with Forex school of thought, that makes a lot of sense, because if you pay the team out in tokens, at some point if they ever want to get paid, they're going to have to dump those. Then you're seeing dev wallets dump the underlying asset, and that just doesn't make any sense. So how the team gets paid is actually part of the fee structure. So what they're saying is it's in everybody's interest to maximize the pool and therefore increase the staking rewards for the community so everyone gets paid more. And I think that makes sense. It's kind of an incentive structure, if you will. One thing I also liked is they've got a burn program. So in addition to the staking structure, we built a burning program that burns 0.2 to 0.4% of the total supply every month, therefore reducing the max supply of Cairo each month to constantly deflate while your balance increases in comparison to the max Cairo supply. So I do like it when there's a burn mechanism. It shrinks the supply, and if demand goes up, that helps the price, obviously. They've got a metric here for buy side pressure, and then this explains liquidity on exchanges. Right now they're on PancakeSwap. Let's jump back over real quick. If you see this swap tab right here, this is where you would normally go to like the native DEX, and you'd be able to swap your BNB over for Cairo, and you wouldn't have to pay the 10% tax that's charged by PancakeSwap. That's coming soon, and from what I'm hearing, it's going to be available by the end of next month. So once that's available, it'll make this whole process easier. I'll try to see if I can just buy some additional Cairo right now and dump it in the system so you guys can see the flow. But to do that, we'll have to go through PancakeSwap. So just be aware of that for the next few weeks until they get that up and running. You'll jump to PancakeSwap, you'll buy Cairo, and then you'll come back. And if you guys have been in DeFi at all, that's not too hard of a process. And there's also a link that takes you directly to the actual token so you can make sure you're getting the right thing. So it'll be easy. I'll show you guys. Back to the Papyrus stocks. Like I said, we won't read all this. This talks about the governance, their products. I will say the team, I don't know if the team's in there, but I did get a bunch of details on the team. They are heavily experienced in yield farming, lending, traditional banking. Their pedigree and their resumes are great. So I think it's important in any DeFi space. The products, they need to work well, of course, but one of the most important things is the dev team. Is the dev team honest? Are they solid? Do they write good code? I will say that this is not a fork. They've actually written all the code here. It was inspired by Drip, of course, you know, the daily 1%, so the maximizer. And then this horse farm was inspired by something called Beefy Finance, I think. Pretty sure it's Beefy Finance. If not, I'll remember in a second here, correct you later. But it's nice that they have the farms, they got treasury, so I'll show you all this stuff in just a second. So the most important one to talk about right now is this maximizer. So if you guys are familiar with Drip, it works a lot like that. You can earn 1% per day on whatever you've deposited. Of course, that's in the token. So as the price fluctuates, you'll either be earning a lot more or earning a lot less. That's just how it works. And that initial deposit is good for 365 days, right? It'll pay you 1% for 365 days. Every time you take what you've earned for that day, that 1% per day, and roll it back into the system, that's a new deposit, and now that one runs for 365 days. So the key with these protocols is to compound your gains as much as possible, and then when you do decide that you want to take some profits, you take those in a responsible strategy. Whether it's a 6-in-1, 5-in-2, maybe you take it every other week, like on a payday, on every other Friday. But when you get involved in these protocols, you want to run them right, you want to maximize your gains, and you want to help the ecosystem along. So putting a bunch of money in and draining it right away isn't very responsible. It doesn't help the ecosystem, and some of these people want to double up on their money. To me, I'm trying to 10x, 20x, 30x my money. So when I put something into a protocol, it's with the idea that if I continue to compound those gains and add to the system and be a valuable player in the system, then I'll end up earning a lot more money, and ultimately that's what I want to do, right? I want to be able to make a ton of money in passive income through the DeFi space, because I think we're at the cutting edge of it, and you just got to take that opportunity. Right now, investing in DeFi is like investing in crypto 10 years ago. Most of the projects went to zero. If you did research and found the good ones, you made millions. So that's how it works. All right, once you drop your Cairo into the maximizer, it's sent to a burn address, and that makes this a deflationary platform. So when you purchase or when you invest it, when you drop it in, you're going to pay a 10% fee, just like Drip. When you withdraw, a 10% fee, and reinvesting or recompounding is going to be a 5% fee. So exactly like Drip, you should be really familiar with that if you have any experience utilizing the Drip faucet. I thought this was kind of cool if you want to build a team. Obviously, I'll build a little team if you guys want to jump on board. But in a lot of programs, like even on Drip, you got to buy BREAP, Piston, you got to put money into a special spot. In this case, it allows you at your first level to get 10% on your rewards, and then 1% for anyone below that, and you don't need to do anything special. So it's kind of nice. I like how simplistic it is. It's always been frustrating on the Drip side when you're trying to explain to someone new, they want to add a new team member, like, hey, you got to make sure that it's worth it to you because you got to go buy these, BREAP tokens, which are this X amount of dollars. You got to make sure that you really want to build a team. That's always a confusing conversation to have in the real world with people that are newbies. So this kind of eliminates that. Obviously on that side, that gives an additional functionality for the BREAP token, which is super important. In this case, they don't have that yet. And so it's really easy for new people jumping on board. So let's say you want to join the team, you drop 500 bucks in, and then your brother says, hey, I'm interested, I got 500 bucks too. You could sign him up and get that bonus without having to go through any additional hurdles. So I think that's nice. It's one of the things I like about this platform so much is it's just really simple. It's easy to understand. And if you've been in DeFi at all, you know, some of these platforms are real complicated. This one should be easy for you if you've got a MetaMask and you've already done drip or something like it. Now they've got these great infographics here. You can read through those if you want to. Swap, this is upcoming. They've got a sweet little lending platform that's upcoming, so that'll be here soon. I like the idea of lending. I think that's a great utility, so that's going to be helpful. They've got compounding farms, which is going to be super important for the longevity of the platform. This is similar to what the animal farm will do. They've got automated vaults that will auto compound. They've got NFTs coming. They've got a lottery, like scratch off tickets. They may or may not have stolen this idea from Forex, but anyway, they've got something here. So you've got the ability to buy a ticket for like $5 in BNB, and then you'll be able to scratch it and see if you won. So anyway, that is cool. Just adds another utility and a little bit of gamification for people to get involved. So again, I'm not going to crash everything on here because it did take me a long time to read through everything and try to understand it and look stuff up I didn't understand. But I have done the research on that. I feel pretty comfortable. I would recommend you cruising through and reading through some of it though. The education will never hurt. Let's get back over into the system and walk through some things. So first off, we'll go tab by tab. Swap, that's coming soon. So there'll be a native DEX on here. Maximizer, this is what would be most similar to the faucet on the drip side or the race on piston side or whatever, right? The Cairo's network maximizer is a low risk, high reward contract that operates similarly to a high yield certificate deposit by paying 1% daily on an investment up to 365%. Players can compound and extend their earnings through deposits, compounding rewards, as well as through team-based referrals. That is almost word for word what the Drip Network faucet is. So if you're involved in Drip, this should be really simple for you. This is the amount I have deposited. I got about $775 in here. And so after the fees were taken out at 10%, it gave me, whatever. And then I've just been compounding for the last week. Cairo right now is like $1. It's trading for right around $1, a couple cents more, a couple cents less. And overall, it's been relatively stable. So I think that's good news. As you can see, here's my deposits column. Here's my rewards column. So I get 1% of this in Cairo every single day. So I should get 6.9 here at the end of the day. Then what I'll do is I'll click this recompound button and it'll dump it in here. I do have a few claims in here, so obviously that's for the redepositing. I've got no team members yet. I've just started with this platform about a week ago. So I plan to build a team if you guys are interested in it as well. This max payout down here is always going to be 3.65% of the deposits up here, and that's rolling. So as I take this money and put it in here, it's going to increase the max payout and then extend my 365 days. Now I want to show you guys how this works. Get Cairo. If you click Get Cairo, what it's going to do is it's going to take us out to PancakeSwap, and then we can purchase Cairo there. It will show up in your wallet balance right here, and then we'll be able to actually deposit that. If you guys have seen my last videos, you know that my ledger doesn't like my editing PC. So when I'm recording over here, I now can't use it, or it's so intermittent, it's frustrating. So I've got an additional PC over here. So what I'll likely do is show you how the flow goes, jump over to this PC, buy a little bit of Cairo, then it'll show up in my wallet, and then we can move forward from there. So to do that, let's click Get Cairo. Of course, it will take us to PancakeSwap. It will already have preloaded this. You will likely get a little pop-up message that says, hey, this is a smaller token basically, so just click accept, and then you can purchase this with whatever. You can purchase it in BNB, BUSD, whatever. So if it's your first time, you may have to authorize the token. There'll be, once you connect your wallet and go to buy it, there'll be an additional button here, authorize the token. Make sure your slippage is set for whatever you're comfortable with, 5% or whatever. You just want to make sure that transaction goes through. You will purchase it, and again, it'll end up in your wallet. So what I'm going to do real quick is, you'll see like a quick clip in the video. I'm going to use my other PC. I'm going to purchase some Cairo, and I'll be right back. But again, I'm going to go through that simple process where I just purchase it here. All right, guys, I am back. So as you can see, my balance right now, I bought 25 Cairo. It took the 10% fee. So when I go to deposit this in here, I will pay an additional 10% on deposit. So I'm excited for them to get this swap tab up just because I think it'll be a little bit cheaper. There's always a difference between like a pancake swap DEX and a native DEX. So the price could be a little bit different. You might have to play one off the other. But again, this is tokens are traded for about $1. It's not a huge difference here. So I think this is something you could really enter in with 500 bucks and have a nice little position here. So I bought an additional 25 because I wanted to have like a flat even 800 invested. I'll probably put another 200 in because I on all these other platforms that I'm testing out, I like to just have like $1,000 in there to get me started. And that way I can really see what gains and losses. And then if I want to add down the road, I can do that. So for me, in my scenario, $1,000 is ideal. For a lot of other people, $5,000 or $3,000 may do it. And for some people, they're going to want to throw in, $50 to get started, and that's fine too. In the DeFi space, I think there's a lot of people getting in that are young, or they don't have a ton of money and they're trying to find their way out of poverty, and they're using DeFi to do that. So don't be embarrassed if you've got $34 and you put it in because you're trying to make some money. That's okay. Don't think that people with huge bags are any better than you. It's all part of the process. Everyone's got to get rich somehow, and sometimes you got to take calculated risks to generate some yield and try to add value and wealth in your life. So what I'd like to do is put this over here, but I can't do that yet. If you'll see this up here, my next deposit or recompound is in 9 hours and 22 minutes. So I'm not going to be able to do that until later tonight. So if I've got one criticism of the platform so far, and this is just my personal preference, ease of use, is that they do not have an auto compounder. If they're going to do it once every 24 hours, that's fine. I like to hyper compound once in a while once I get up to a certain balance. Obviously, with just 700 deposits here, I'm super fine just doing it once a day. But I forget, and then it rolls over into the next day. So if I could make one recommendation to the dev team, it would be add an auto compounder at some point. It just makes life a little bit easier. Right now, the piggy bank on the animal farm side is also like this. I got to do it manually. So what I'm trying to do is get these things timed up correctly. So when every 24 hours when I got to run to the computer, I'm knocking out, everything that's on that kind of time lock. So be aware of that. Again, that's the only downside I really found. So maybe if we make enough noise, we can get the dev team to add that auto compounder. Moving on to the horse farms, I think these are going to be great. This is a way, if you own other cryptocurrency, you can generate some yield. So if you own BNB and you just want to stake it in here and earn 40% a year, that's fantastic. They've got everything in here. I'm sure they're going to add more because these are all singles. They don't have any LPs listed. Even if I go here, I think it just shows singles. This should be launched, but I'm being told that it will be launched next month. So if this is all live and you want to stake some funds in here to earn some yield, I think that's fantastic. I love these little yield farms. Having this money locked up allows them to generate a collateral rehypothecation, which allows them to pay out that 1% per day. So the more of this that's available, the better. There's some auto compounding stuff here, which will be great. So this is specifically for the horse farm. Of course, it doesn't apply to the maximizer. And it looks like they've got some pairs here, smaller tokens right now, but I'm sure that they will add some more. But these APYs, of course, are decent. And then the vault. And the vault's cool. It says automated vaults run complex strategies for you, similar to an on-chain hedge fund, which is great. We currently have 2 strategies for automated vaults, which are market neutral strategy and saving strategy. So you put your money in the vault under whatever pair you want to do, and that money gets moved around for you, generates yield, and then you can take that yield out. So again, this is all upcoming over the next month or 2, and that will just add additional utility and should help the price take off. So by getting into this platform now, you're obviously getting in very early. If all this stuff launches and it does really well, you could make some really good money in the maximizer or in the farms. Treasury is also upcoming. This just gives you some details here. Obviously, some of this stuff is upcoming, so we won't get into it too much. One more thing I wanted to show you that's interesting is their merch. Now, I will say this. Do not invest in a project because you like their merch or just because of the merch. But if a project does really good merch, I think it's just helpful. I mean, it kind of shows that they're willing to put in the effort to set stuff up like that, and they're interested in the longevity of their product and projects. And so I think it's cool. These shorts are rad. I might get some of those. Some of these shirts are really awesome. They're just well designed. I think this is one of my favorites here. You got the old school right here with the pyramids and everything. I just think overall they did a really good job with the merch. And even though that doesn't tell us what the success of the project is going to be, I think it's awesome. And so if you want to pick something up, you can do that here if you want to support the deal. But like I said, I like these I like these shorts. They've also got like some hoodies or whatever that are kind of similar to this that I like. I'm more of a simple guy, but I also really did like that one with the old school and the raised pyramids and everything. I thought that was cool. And that is about everything there is to know about Cairo finance. Again, the maximizer is really what we're talking about here today. It's like the faucet on the drip side. Put your money in and you can earn 1% per day. Token's currently trading around $1, so it's a good time to get in. Even if you only have a small amount of capital, you'll get to pick up a good amount of tokens. I've talked to the dev team. I will link their Telegram below. This company is, or this project, I guess, the team is based out of Germany. So if you sprechen Sie Deutsch, I will give you the link to that Telegram. And then there's also a Telegram for US-based investors or English-speaking investors. So that'll be below. In addition to that, if you want to join my team and play around in this space with me, try to generate some yield while the animal farm is down, then my link to join my team will be below. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, as always. But I feel good about the project. If you feel good about it too, feel free to jump in with a little bit of risk capital and let's see if we can make some money. So thank you guys for joining. Happy investing.